Hello, welcome again to Websy Wangi's channel. I'm going to do a video about something that I know I've mentioned it on my channel, and I'm sure some of you know what it is like to deal with people in situations when it comes to um, the whole thing about twin flames and soulmates. And I just want to get more in depth into that. Um, about what it is. Basically, what is a karmic cycle or what is a karmic relationship? Um, Here lately, I've been seeing a lot of posts that I've come across about twin flame reunions and twin flames. And I just want to put out there the information that I've personally gone through and personally what I've looked into and researched, and maybe it can help one of you out in some way. But that is the topic about what is karma and what is like karmic things or karmic relationships, something like that. We'll see how it goes, but basically, I this is just me. Like I said, this is just what I believe, but I feel like, everyone, and I'm getting to understand this, but I'm still a little confused how it works. Um, I just recently looked into that. The fact is that we all have a soulmate, and we've met many of them. And I know it's hard for a lot of people to understand that, but everyone you meet, whether it's a lover, interest, or if it's just family, but everyone is a soulmate. We're all connecting, we're all one, and we come across people, strangers even, are soulmates. So that's something I'm seem to understand, that we're all connected in some way and that we're all soulmates. The difference too, and I think a lot of people get confused when it comes to twin flames. Now, if you don't know what twin flames are, I did a video about this. I think it's still up there. To me, you can have, like what I've researched and what I looked, you can have many soulmates, but there's only one twin flame. And basically, that's someone who is a lot like you, someone who mirrors you. Um, and there's only one of those, but there's many soulmates. So hopefully that makes sense to some of you who don't know about soulmate connections and twin flames. So we're all learning. I'm still learning, but I recently heard that and I thought that was very interesting, that we all have soulmates and we met soulmates and they could be anybody. Um, Now, I came across someone talking about karma. They don't believe in karma. And that's okay if you don't understand that, or if you don't really believe that, that's fine. But I just feel like, you reap what you sow. So that's pretty much karma. But I feel like when it comes to karmic things or karmic relationships, especially karmic cycles, that we all have to go through. Because, like, for me, I believe that we were all reincarnated. Now, there are some people who only have this life to live. So that is a thing. But I do feel like a lot of us do have past lives, and we all were sent here, and we all chose this life to live. And so when it comes to karmic thing, and I always, refer back to, situations that keep happening, especially when it comes to people, when it comes to family ties, and things that are passed down from generation to generations and is ancestral. Um, that could be a karmic cycle. And I feel like people get in these situations where, you know, they either break up with someone or they get out of a relationship that they've been in, maybe marriage or whatever. And they get in these situations where and I see it a lot. So I'm not, anyways, I see it a lot where people, get in relationships and then they're still having to learn things that they may have previously learned with someone else that they were with, or if they've been married and then they remarried, they're having to still learn. A lot of that I'm aware of is, here, let me turn the light on, it's kind of dark in here, is a karmic cycle. If, like, when it comes to past lives, we all have a life to live. And when it comes to our past lives, sometimes we have to relearn things that we didn't learn in another lifetime that we lived. So we're still having to relearn those things. And it can be confusing. So if you're confused, I've been there too when it comes to learning these things that. And another thing I didn't realize this, and someone brought up when I watched their video, is everyone is in a karmic relationship. Because you got to think of, if you do believe this, if you don't, it's fine. But, when we've had a past life, we experience the same people we are experiencing now. Like, let's say my boyfriend was in a past life. I'm still going to have to relearn those things that I learned back in the past. And, another life that I lived, and I'm having to relearn that now. And I know it can be confusing if you don't know what it is, but basically what I'm trying to get a point is sometimes the things we keep seeing over and over and the same struggles over and over, whether it's addictions, whether it's people, the same toxic, narcissic people that we're having to deal with, we keep bumping in those same type of people. It's because we're still having to relearn the things that we learned in another lifetime. But that's all up to, what you believe and your preference. But I firmly believe it because it's like, it makes sense. Why are we having to deal with people that we've dealt with? If you think about it just in this lifetime, why is it that things are surfacing right now that you already dealt with 2 years ago, 5, 10, maybe? A lot of it is karmic stuff that needs to be addressed and that needs to be healed. So to me, it makes a lot of sense. To some people, it may not make sense, but I find it very fascinating because it's like, I already learned this. I already gone through this struggle. I already gone through this trial of life. So it's like, why am I having to relearn it? And I think it's a good message to just share with you guys, when it comes to karmic relationships, when it comes to karmic cycles, only you have control of what you allow in your life and people that you associate. Now, there are a lot of situations you can have no control over. It will happen. People come in and out of your life, and you're like, I didn't ask for this. So I do really understand the whole karmic thing, because I came across a lady in a different video I was watching, and she commented and says that she doesn't believe in karma. And it's like, it's kind of silly to say you don't believe in karma when, there's the whole thing that, you reap what you sow. So how can you not believe in karma? That's pretty much karma. But I guess everyone's different. Everyone believes different. I'm learning that more and more. So, but I think the biggest thing that woman was saying is that she doesn't believe in karmic relationships. Like, she thinks the twin flame thing, is pretty much, an excuse to be in a toxic relationship. But to me, like I said, there's a difference between soulmate and twin flame. Twin flame there's more of a stronger connection, and they pretty much mirror you. Like they're like almost your twin that you never had. And then a soulmate, there can be multitudes of many soulmates. You know, your family can be tied to you as a soulmate. Or have you ever heard of those sayings, you know, soul tribe, soul family? You know, that's like a soulmate. We're all connected. Um, but I feel like people don't really understand that, which is fine, but it's just something that I just wanted to share again. Um, and to me, it just comes up to the person, you know, their belief, their preference of things. But I just feel like, you know, it's easy to get lost into the cycle of, you know, how things are. And trying to think what else I was gonna say. But yeah, we're all in a karmic cycle. You know, we're all having to heal from things. We're all having to face things. But I just feel like if you really look at your life and the different things that you've had to go through and the different people you've come across, a lot of times it's the same thing. A lot of times it's like you have those, and I've been having those too, deja vu moments where you're like, this feels like last year. This feels like the same feelings from last year. This feels like something that I've already had experience. And like I've been noticing, like, you know, here lately my tooth has been achy. And I'm thinking, you know, this is weird because a few years ago, you know, I had a tooth pulled. And so it's like I'm rehashing. It's like, is there something that I need to do here? But I just think it's important to understand that, you know, when it comes to soulmate and twin flames, it's a lot different than what people think. And then what I said in my previous video about like twin flames and the past videos is sometimes people that were strongly connected, a lot of reasons why we're really connected to them is because it's karmic. It's because it's something that they were either a twin flame in the past life or they were someone we knew in a past life. Like if they're constantly on your mind, if they're constantly being brought up, you know, it's a karmic thing. And I just feel like, you know, a lot of people don't want to have to relearn things, or a lot of people don't want to have to learn, you know, why is this person coming up now when I've already dealt with it? You know, it's just time to heal. It's time to, you know, let it be for what it is and realize that this is only teaching me. You know, and then there's other people who come into our life who are soulmates, who are a strong connection, that they're the only reason they were brought in our life is to teach us. And that's really hard when, you know, one minute someone's in your life and then another minute they're out of your life. They were there for a lesson. And that's when it comes to soulmates, you know, they were a life lesson. But a twin flame is way more deeper and way more stronger than that. And then, you know, recently I've heard a lot of people say, you know, I don't want to get with my twin flame, you know, I want to run away. But a recent video, and I might put it in the description below, there's signs to twin flames where they can explain it better than I can, but I'm still processing it. Where if you're in a very strong union and a strong connection, there's this thing that we go through, and I've learned it too with my boyfriend, is there's moments of separation where you have to separate. I mean, if it is a twin flame dynamic or just a soulmate, where you have to separate. I mean, not literally separate, but like, you know, separate and then come together. Separate, come together. And I just feel like, you know, that really goes along with the twin flame dynamic is, you know, you hear a lot of people, or I've heard a lot of people where they talk about their twin flames. They don't want nothing to do with their twin because they were toxic. But a lot of times they're toxic because they bring up things that are old wounds, and things that may want you to run. So it's kind of like a run or what's it saying? Uh, fly or flight mode or something like that, if you know what I mean, where they make you want to run. But you're not supposed to run, you're supposed to separate in some point, not like literally get out of the house, but like have time for yourself to heal and process things, like if there's an argument or something, and then you join back. And that's, I've been posting a lot of it on my Facebook about the twin flame reunion, where sometimes, where there needs to be that, and I hear it more and more often, is there needs to be a reunion. There needs to be a union with your twin flame, that you can do work here on earth that you were designed to. And a lot of people fear that, but I feel like whoever you're meant to be with, it will happen. But like the whole thing with the twin flame reunion that I post a lot on Facebook, um, people are coming into their union that they're meant to be with. And a lot of people are freaking out because they're like, either they're leaving their spouse or they're separating. Like I said, there's a lot of energy shifts happening, and that's what's happening. People are getting into their union, their twin flame union or reunion. And I hope that makes sense in some way. But that's why it's shocking a lot of people, that people are having to deal with these losses, or people want to get with their twin flame, but there's roadblocks. Um, but yeah, see, that's another thing about twin flame too. Like, I consider my boyfriend to be my twin flame because sometimes it can get very uncomfortable. If you know what a twin flame is, it can get very uncomfortable because they mirror you. They bring up wounds in your life so you can heal. And that can be uncomfortable. And I just feel like, if it gets really bad, you need to separate. You know, worry about focusing on you and your mental health, and they, maybe go play video games or something. That's what me and my boyfriend have been doing, just so, the internet doesn't work over here, so he has to go over there. So it's kind of helping our relationship in some way in that sense. I'm not saying we're having problems or anything. It's just that's pretty much what I was thinking the other day. I was like, that's like how the twin flame is. Sometimes you need to separate if you're too close together. So eventually, you come back into union. You come back into alignment. Because a lot of relationships, especially if it's twin flame, they're out of alignment. So hopefully that helps someone out there. Bye bye.